my name is Emma and welcome to Touchstarved. Now, if you've been in the visual novel community for a bit, maybe around the last few years, you might know about this one. Apparently, it's a game that is going to come out, which is either horror or gothic romance or horror gothic romance. I'm not quite sure. But I've been putting it off because of how long it takes, I think, for the demo itself. But, I mean, why not just start now? Why not see what all this, not hype, maybe hype, why not see what this is all about, you know? I have never ventured into a gothic, I think it's a gothic horror romance, maybe. I've never ventured into one. I tend to go for the lighter things or the more fantasy things, but aside from the scarier stuff, because I can't handle that, as you might know if you've ever seen any other horror-related thing on my channel. But I saw exactly one image on the itch.io page, and I was like, maybe I can handle it. I don't think it's super bad for me. I don't think it's like abject horror, you know, the multiple eyes that would peer at me at night, you know, that kind of thing. So why not go with it? I've been meaning to check it out anyway. So, pressing any button, let's begin. Also, what I do know about this, because I haven't watched anyone play it and I haven't really delved into it, is that I think you are cursed. And as you can see on the screen earlier, there was 5 people. So that's about all I know. Anyways, the disclaimers. Man, alright, whatever. It is what it is. Turn down music volume. How do I... Hold up. I don't... just... How do I do that? I know this is the demo of the Touchstarved prologue, but how do I... Just give me an option to leave! Give me an option to leave! I'll be back. Alright, I turned the volume down to 0, though I do realize I could have done this in post, but it is what it is. I'm just hoping that the experience itself... Actually, music is a very big focus for visual novels a lot of the time because of the fact that it's, there's not a lot of movement in general, but we'll see how things go. But I'm hoping it doesn't diminish the experience too much. Anywho's, just a content warning reading this aloud. It contains mature content that includes, but is not limited to, horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol and drug references, injury and dismemberment. My favorite. Anywho's, player discretion is advised. Your choices matter. Well, that's how visual novels are, and that makes sense. Oh, also side note on this one too is that apparently there are some developers from Nix Hydra here, which is also a point that attracted me to this game. And Nix Hydra is the company that made, if you ever like, you know, don't have money and you're fine with doing those like coin ad things or waiting for a while, made the Arcana, or was it Arcana? Just Arcana. I don't quite remember, it's been a while, and that one was pretty good. The next one after that, I have no comments about, but that one was pretty good, and that's why I'm a little bit anticipatory about this one. The decisions you make may result in unique dialogue, interactions, or even choices in red text, which contain exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once and choosing different options. You might even uncover a secret ending. And remember, there are no wrong choices. Only interesting ones. Choose wisely and save often. I was gonna say I wouldn't, but I feel like I'd probably die. Left click is progress. Mouse wheel up, mouse wheel down, spacebar. I won't remember this. Enter your name. You know what name I'm putting in. I'm not gonna fantasy size this. Choose your pronouns. Sure. This world began to unravel long before you were born. Oh no, the clouds are coming in. Oh, they are. It began with fogfall. Spectral mist bled from the seams where reality wore so thin it split. Fogfall looks like something I can click, but I guess those are points of interest. And from the fog emerged monsters with a capital M. inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts driven by little more than the desire to slaughter. Which one will I be? As cities fell and unrest spread, humans united in their fear while monsters thrived in the chaos. And then there's you. You're not even sure if you're human. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Choose your backstory. Didn't even know I could do that. First time I've been encountered with one of these. Ooh, okay. The Unnamed, a fallen oracle. You were raised as an oracle in a remote temple. The priest claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed the curse for what it was. Following the mage's words, you fled in search of Cenobium. You regularly experience unnatural premonitions that rattle your body and soul. An innate sixth sense, giving you a heightened awareness of hidden supernatural presences around you. The Hound. You were raised by society's outcasts, criminals who accepted you when no one else was around, I guess. I'm really bad at reading, but you guys should know this by now. Your partner in crime, a friend from childhood, helped you steal enough money for a cure, and then betrayed you. They left you with only enough coin to travel to, once again, Cenobium, your last hope. You have sharply honed your social intuition. You can survive and even thrive in the violent underbelly of any city, using your experience with the underworld to get ahead. Definitely not doing that. I have no social cues in my brain. An exiled Cenobia mage took you in as a child, raised you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled to the Cenobium seeking a cure. You're an experienced spellcaster with encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With a little observation, you can identify the subtle effects of magic. Sixth sense seems fun. I think I'll go with the sixth one. Your name is Emma. Oh, well, yes, that is correct. I was like, the dialogue is beginning. Anywho's? Shall we begin the story itself? The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death, the ever-present stench of decay, and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but to tell the truth, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the waste. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry, I began to despair. But then I saw it. Oh my god, city? City in my view? Iridia, the city of knowledge. One of the last bastions of humanity left in the world and home to the famous academy called the Cenobium. Oh, the academy. I thought the city was called the Cenobium this whole time. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there is anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. Alright, we're going in, right? Head in. All that stands between me and a cure is a final stretch of salt-soaked wastes. Or so I think until I see the first tendrils of fog snaking beneath the wagon. A little optimistic. I don't know if we're going to find a cure, but we're a little optimistic. Oh, okay. Is this fogfall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it, a silent storm more devastating than fire, dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, smothering out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as the mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Is it choking people out? Oh, okay. I thought the fog was choking people out. Guess not. Stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. You turn into goo? Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't want to see that shit. Then, the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. Oh no, the carnage. Ooh, the carnage. Anyways, a traitor I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strings of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. Alright, we're getting a little graphic already. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding. White blooms before or across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. Why, hello there. Oh, aren't you a sexy beast? A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink at once. Hello there! I'd like you to not do that, thanks. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and runs at me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. Distantly, a horse screams in the dark. I need to move now. I was gonna be like, let's give it a 1-2! Punch it, run for the city, head towards the wagon. Well, I think we're cooked if we go to the wagon. I think if we go to the wagon, we're dead. We're dead meat. Save often. Save often. I take off, running deeper into the haze. The fog is so thick that I fear I'm heading in the wrong direction until I see a dim pinprick of light emanating from the shadow of a spire. It's faint, but it's enough. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source. But the fogfall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver burst forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. Goodbye, man. Thank you for your sacrifice. Oh, never mind. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground, and slips in a patch of mud. The soulless falls on him as soon as he slows. It catches the driver by the throat and rakes his stomach with razor-sharp claws. If we're being so real, man, you could have had a 2-in-1. Getting 1 by 1 is a little bit dumb, I would say. He comes apart like wet paper. Yummy! Spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming tide. I'm imagining ripping paper, but ripping paper doesn't... well, whatever. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit! My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib, jutting up from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gouge torn deep into my palm. Disgusting. The pain quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Oh, a friend? That's not a friend. That's not a friend? Traveler, can you stand? One of the travelers from the caravan leans over me. We need to run. They reach for my hand and I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. Oh, interesting. When I first saw this image, I thought your hand was like metal, but I guess your hand is like darkened with golden crevices? Are those crevices or are those markings? Because they kind of look like crevices, but No, don't touch. The sensation of their thumb brushes against the back of my hand, sending a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Oh, hello! You're looking mighty happy! Ugh, I hate the way they say their lips peel back into a deranged grin. Disgusting.
Hi, this is Emma here, and the laugh for this part was honestly way too cringe and way too awkward to add in. So I decided to cut it out, and that's what you guys get. I'm never letting it see the light of day.
No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse, madness of my own making. The grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go! Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Now, is the curse about simply madness, or is it madness that makes them want to kill me? Die, 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 die! Spit bubbles at the corner of their mouth and flecks my face. Keep that to yourself. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs scream for air. I'm gonna fucking fight? Screaming for help doesn't do anything when they're choking me out. My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrist, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. Literally, are you so real right now? The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ear, slowing with each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die. And not because of the fogfall or the soulless, but because of my own curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, 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 not here, not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. You toying with me, bitch? You toying with me? My vision clears and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine. Lips still spit in that macabre smile, even as blood seeps between their teeth. Oh, I thought it was coming from their lips. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over the claws, hooked through their stomach. I knew you'd come for me. I knew you would come for me. I give you my thanks before you take me next. The soulless shoves the body aside, and the glowing eyes studying its leathery skin, thin as though grinning. You can smile? You don't have... I guess. There's a flash of claws, red spill across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky waters, all I can feel is the grit of silt filling my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. Distantly, I notice an arm resting among an outcrop of reeds, mine, neatly severed at the elbow. I mean, I guess that means I don't have to care about a curse, if it's my hands. It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Oh, you already knew that, okay. Instead, I'll die, cold, alone, and face down in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. Oh, for real? For real? This is why I'm a walkthrough girly, man. I can't do shit by myself. I can't do anything by myself. If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror. Nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But the next moment, I take a reflexive breath. Air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes back. Warm cloth on my bare skin. A firm surface underneath me. A strange tang of sulfur in the air. Do not be afraid. I can't even see. I don't know what there's to be afraid. Okay. Maybe I won't be afraid now. I twist my head towards the voice. Tears flood my bleary vision at the bright glow of lamplight. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding. But more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. I don't know you. You might have saved me. I don't know you. Who knew? Maybe the soulless dude did... Hey, let's be so real. The soulless did save me. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me! My words come out in little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. Imagine that. They're like, stay away from me. No. No? Who the hell is this? Who the fuck says that? Alright, I'll, Do I feel hurt? If I feel pain... I don't remember if I feel pain. Hold history. I'm not feeling pain? If I'm not feeling pain, I'm getting the fuck up, man. Sit up. I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. Actually, what happened to my... If I have one elbow... Didn't I lose an arm? A stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. Hello. The stranger towers over my prone form. Bit rude being tall, maybe get a little shorter. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I notice I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. They took my clothes too! Man, should have just let me die. Naked, lying on a low cot with a sharp pair of golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. You touch them? No touching them. I plunge my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from that courteous smile. Well, I mean, I'd assume he already saw it at this point, because he did maybe tuck us into bed. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You are safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere, with anyone. And also, how do I know I can trust you? That's a sink in the background, I just realized. Even the shrine of my childhood, the one sanctuary I ever knew, turned out to be a horrific lie. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. This will protect me. That's true. Blankets always protect you. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. Okay, hold. This might seem like a dumb question, but I think it's a valid question to ask where my clothes is. I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. All right, thanks. Free clothes. You know what? I'll take it. With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. Nice. Interesting painting you have on the side, but very nice. I seem to be in some sort of medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke, and something distinctly metallic that I couldn't quite place. The doctor procures a large, dense bundle of clothes, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. Do like the design. Very elaborate. Also, it gives less doctor and more priest, but this is a fantasy setting, and I don't know what the occupations are like. Anywho's, thanks? Am I a private person in this setting? Would I be a private person? Could you step out? I lift my head, looking defiantly into those golden eyes. Look, thank you for the clothes, but could you leave? Just for a bit. I'm not gonna steal anything. I mean, I'd have nowhere to go even if I stole anything, so. Meeting his gaze sends a hot frisson down my spine. Something about him nags at me, like a half-formed memory I can't place. Could you, step out first? I'm not getting dressed with you standing here. To my surprise, the man's mouth quirks. I was not planning on watching. Still smiling to himself, he disappears through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. I count to 3 in the sudden silence. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. Hold! Valid, honestly, but hold, what if he's just standing outside? I don't know if the footsteps thing would work. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. Yeah, I did lose my arm. I know what I saw. The beast took my arm clean off. And yet, my arm shows no sign of injury apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by and my arm remains resolutely healed. My surroundings pristine and quiet. Did I put on my new clothes yet? Not yet. In numb disbelief, I reach for the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, with a black woolen cloak to go with them. But there's one thing still missing. My bandages. Well, we're at a clinic, so they would at least have bandages. The gold-eyed man didn't leave me with any, even though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps towards one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. Okay, now hold. It's gonna sound like we're snooping. I feel like we should ask. Well, I guess it's fine, whatever. I start opening drawers at random, and of course that's when the door swings open once more. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my leg bumps against the edge of the cot. Your caution is understandable. Though if I meant you any harm, you would know, and I might be dead. Though actually, no. We did read about human experimentation if I am human. So technically, no. I wouldn't be dead, maybe. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest. But he makes no move towards me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. Okay, they're scars. The glowing scars and mottled skin disappear under a layer of clean white cotton. Actually, that's a nice juxtaposition there. The glowing scars and mottled skin versus the clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? Bro's gonna be like, that's a commodity. It's a rare thing. We gotta ration those. I clenched my jaw. I knew it would only be a matter of time before he asked about my hands, though the way he does it is strangely roundabout. Okay, so I can't answer him. That is the thing. It's a bit rude, I feel like, to glare at him. I think I would simply decline to answer. Well, that's a very personal question, and I don't really want to answer. If that's so, surely you realize that I can only help if you tell me what ails you. I don't know. Do you specialize in curses? An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? No. Best to keep my curse to myself for now. And learn more about him first. Who are you? You can call me Kurus. And where exactly am I? Iridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nothing else for a group of travelers to go. Iridia. So I made it to the City of Knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment. Are you skilled in combat? Which you provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child and he's explaining basic addition to me. I know how to add. I know 1 + 1 = 2. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine. Thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? A Solus attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I trail off, bewildered. I've never heard of any magic that could heal a mortal wound like that. What kind of person could do such a thing? The Dr. Kurus pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. So you didn't stitch back my arm, I assume? I do not know where you come from, but Iridia is the city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and it is most unwise to give or receive it freely. Since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. I was just asking. You should at least tell me what surgery you did to me, if you did give surgery to me. You are new to Iridia, so I will overlook this specific breach of etiquette. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. I understand, but I feel like you should tell me what you did to me, if you did. Do you understand? He looks pointedly at my freshly bandaged hands. Free bandages? Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I'm also a complete stranger to him, and if he's telling the truth, he saved my life. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time, when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Emma. My name's Emma. It is a pleasure to meet you, Emma. There's a little more warmth to his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Thank you. Always remember to say thank you, guys. Thank you for saving me. I chance a smile in return. Even if he won't explain how he did the impossible, there's no doubt in my mind that I'd be dead if not for Kurus. Think nothing of it. I'm not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but his words only raise more urgent questions. But I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't know me? The question seems to startle Kurus. I could hardly leave you to die in the wastes. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes and free bandages. You let me keep the free bandages, right? My fingers feel the edges of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what kind of price Kurus might ask for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across so fascinating a patient, so Experimental lab rat time. I blink. What did he just say? Oh, I simply meant that few would cling to life so resolutely, or brave such a perilous journey to Iridia. I could not help being curious about you, Emma. His voice dips to a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. You being suspicious or shy? You're pretty... What to say? I mean, I just want to live, man. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say to that. I honestly don't know what to say to that. If you knew more about me, you might not like me as much as you think. Doctor or not, he wouldn't want to risk his life or sanity over me. No one ever does. Makes sense. I don't know if I would want to go crazy. A peculiar thing to say. Why would I have cause to dislike you? And here we are, back at my curse, the thing I've been desperate to avoid discussing. A loud knock on the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. The knocking grows more insistent, and Kuras lets out a tired sigh. Please wait your turn. Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Emma? Holy shit, looking at his eyes properly now, they're really piercing. Oh. Between the soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Iridia in the first place. Yeah, can you tell me where, Souls something is? Not Souls, Cenobium. The Cenobium? Oh, he don't like the Cenobium. Medical man don't like the Cenobium. The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. The Cenobium's gates open for precious few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying I came all this way for nothing? Risked a life and limb for nothing? Lost a limb and regained a limb? For this shit? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived and Iridia's the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then if not the Cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Iridia? I shake my head. Nope, sir, I do not. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the Wet Wick and ask for Leander. Excuse me, the what? The Wet Wick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the postings advertised Leander's bloodhounds. They are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. There isn't much to go on, but Kuras points towards the clinic's back door. You'll be safe so long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sorts of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. I'll come back if I'm injured. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. Bro's just being courteous. Oh, the setting out here is not like the setting inside. It's giving... Not rustic, what was I saying? It's giving... I don't know why I feel like saying this, but it's giving sandstorm. I find myself stepping into a narrow and gloomy alley. It doesn't feel gloomy though. The setting itself, the art itself feels more... How do you say this? Weirdly cozy to me? While being barren, weirdly cozy. Like it's trying to replicate a form of comfort, but it's lacking it. Though I'm not sure if it's because the art for the backgrounds is not as detailed as the characters. And I'm not sure if that's an artistic decision or a workload decision. I find myself standing in a narrow and gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of chamber pots that have been emptied into the streets. You guys know that's bad for health, right? Bad? You're gonna get diseases? Something weighs heavily inside one of the coat's pockets. My coin purse. He gave me my money! My money! Everything is still inside. Every last coin that I scraped together for the journey to Iridia. Doesn't even look like it was opened. There were so few coin to begin with, they probably weren't even worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic's closed door. Kuras didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Iridia, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? I mean, I'm pretty sure he's still curious about the arm. If anything, he'd probably still ask for the arm, right? Or not for the arm. Maybe for the arm? But about the arm at least. That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Kuras gave me a second chance at life and a lead on where I might find help. Yeah, zooming out makes it a little bit sadder because the warm colors of the zoom in compared to the backgrounds of this one, like the side view, like into the further area, the background of the background, the behind, I don't even know what I'm talking about, is more dull, more grays. I'd better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and find myself into the crowded main street. The line outside Kuras' clinic stretches down the road already. 2 thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet, deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. Oh, I got no shoes? Did I come here with no shoes? Did I ever have shoes? Do they wear shoes? Are shoes functional to them in this universe? And there's something else, a change in the air, like a shift in pressure before a storm. It's subtle, little more than a faint, persistent thrumming, but I can't seem to shake it. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over me. My stomach gives a faint gurgle. Mine, yoink! Like stealing food from a child. Look, survival of the fittest, they say. This morning's catch, fried up hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today. You cooking soulless? Interesting. That sounds disgusting, but I'm starving, so I duck my head under the stall's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me, its 3 bulging eyes still visible through the thick layer of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. It kind of gives a little bit of, like, nuclear fallout, like, dystopia future vibes. What's the cheapest thing you got? Because, you know, multiple-eyed fish, saying that this fish doesn't even have as many eyes as it could is like saying, oh, this fish is less affected by the radiation. The vendor points at a metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Ooh. Fresh long lads, 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. Better to eat, period, at all, than, I guess, get your coin purse stolen later? 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. I don't see the red and pink lilies. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying riot of color, painted walls and tinted glass everywhere I look. We know this the richer or the more entertainment district. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in open doorways. This is the entertainment district. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent smell of flowers, barely covering up the salt and musk of warm bodies. Ooh, I did get it right. This must be Iridia's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hands when I spot a post. Oh, ew, I just had a thought. Imagine you're wearing cloth gloves and you're eating something greasy and the grease gets on the gloves. Now imagine those gloves are thin. Imagine that grease sinking onto your skin and staying there, leaving your hands feeling grubby. That is my thought. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring and the words Bloodhounds printed over his head. A motto, as above, so below, circles the artwork. If Leander is the leader of the Bloodhounds, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. I follow the line of identical posters around a corner and nearly hit my head on the precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read, The Wet Wick. The facade of the building looks like it's seen better. The facade? The facade? That's how you use the word facade? You can use it like that? Damn, did not know that. I only know facade as in like faking it, you know? Looks like it's seen better days. Though I guess you could say it as like an outer state. But I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. The inside of the bar is a far cry from the abandoned exterior. It's not even midday yet. Most of the tables and booths are occupied by a loose assembly of people in matching green cloaks, so everyone's part of the same company? Bustling bars are not something I'm used to, but I steel myself with a deep breath before pushing forward. Also, good thing your hands are bandaged. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anyone with a dagger-shaped earring. I'm about to head towards the counter when a chant arises from the center of the room. Show! 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 Show what? Show what? The remaining green cloaks abandon the bar and their booths to rush towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. There's no time to move out of the way. I'm caught, swept along in the ale-stenched current. Ugh, gross. Hey! Rhythmic chanting drowns out my voice. I thrash, throwing out my elbows as the press of bodies grows heavier. My hips knock into a table. I grip it, holding on tight to steady myself, but the crowd has stilled and the chanting has stopped. No show, no show, no show? A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. No show? Show! Seriously? You dogs, again? Scattered laughter and cheers rise from the audience. Show! I drag my eyes upwards. A well-dressed man stands on the table in front of me, his broad shoulders framed by the thick lapels of a trench coat. Oh, that's the dagger earring! This really is the last time, all right? This time when he speaks, the audience falls silent, as though bewitched by his magnetic presence of a rich, low voice. Can't do that, can't do that, my voices don't go that low. But nothing is as captivating as a smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. Don't blink, or you'll miss it. He laughs and the dagger-shaped earring dangles from his left ear, catches the light in a flash of gold. It would seem I found Leander. He reaches his hand above the audience and snaps. A flash of pale green light, real magic, no ordinary stage trick, blinds me. Show! 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 Ugh, blinded! As the brilliance ebbs, my gaze refocuses on the mage towering above me. Show? He flicks his wrist and the magic spiraling around him coalesces. A delicate flower stem sprouts from between his pinched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals spring forth. With a flourish, the mage presents the conjured flower. The audience bursts into clapping and cheers. Show! 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 A genuine magic show was the last thing I expected from a place called the Wet Wick. Leander plucks the iridescent bouquet out of the air and turns it in a slow circle, giving his audience a good look. How showy is this show? If I just see a flower appear... No, if we're thinking about magic tricks, I do think that is fun to make a flower appear. Now who could use some good luck? Look, I don't know if I should be taking things from strangers, but I'm just gonna say I would probably need a lot of luck, me and the people that I get involved with, cause hands... Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table. Some reach for the lilies while others whistle and call Leander's name. But his cool green eyes slide over them, locking on me instead. How about you? My chest tightens. Every person gathered turns to stare at me. What's his name again? Sorry, I forgot your name, medical man. The doctor said that I should not draw attention. You're making me draw attention, Leander. Don't you know how you're supposed to live in this place? Look, I should not be taking things from strangers. But if 50 or more people are looking at me, or 30 or more people, or even 20 or more people are looking at me, I'm succumbing to that peer pressure and I'm taking that flower. I reach out, all too aware of the way my fingers tremble as I carefully take the flowers from him. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems, but not the petals? Or is it because we're holding the stem? As soon as the flowers leave Leander's hand, their light dims. They fade away in a shower of opalescent light. That better be giving me luck. You promised. You didn't promise, actually, but you promised. To my surprise, Leander laughs under his breath. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? No, incorrect. Just dry them, and then you'll have them. Simple as that. Your magic flower ain't shit, man. He grins at me, and I find myself smiling back. Anyways, Dr. Man sent me to you. Leander steps off the table, dropping among the excited crowd with an audible click. All right, bloodhounds, get back to your drinks. Show's over. The green cloaks disperse at his command, returning to their table and booths. I wonder, this is just their hub then, right? I wonder if the Wet Wick is a chosen hub or it's a hub that they created. Before I can make my way towards Leander, his eyes find me. Do I have luck now? He gives me a friendly wave, then beckons me over to the crowded counter. Do you give me luck? I get luck? Give luck? Please? I manage to squeeze beside him, but there's so little room that his broad shoulders press against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. Is this your first time in Iridia? He says it lightly with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm certain I'd remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown. My eyes flicker to the polished countertops. I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. Eye contact is difficult in general. I don't like making eye contact. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us. What can I get you? Surprise me and add anything my friend wants on my tab. We're not close enough to be friends, but I'm assuming that's just how you speak, and I'll take it if it's a free drink. I wasn't expecting the generosity, but I have to admit, I do feel a little thirsty from all that fried dough. Water! You're drinking water, young lady! Water! Look, we might be in a bar, and, water might be cheaper than whatever I could get, but we also need to be sound of mind, because we don't know how this place works yet. Water's fine. While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Leander leans his elbows on the counter. I'm close enough to notice the purple shadows under his lower lids. Eye bags! His eyes wander over me in return, but when they lock on my bandaged hands, a sour taste rises to my throat. Here comes the questions. So, what brings you to the Wick? Caress sent me. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, but it immediately falls right back into place. You should use a hair clip. So it's about work. The bartender pushes a pair of glasses our way. I didn't realize how thirsty I am until the cool water touches my lips. I drain the water in a single gulp. Leander takes a deep swig of his beer and lets out a satisfied breath. How can I be of assistance? I need to get to the cenobium. Man, no one here likes the cenobium! As soon as the word cenobium leaves my mouth, the entire bar falls silent. Bloodhounds twist around in their seats to gawk openly. Finally, an especially drunk one speaks up. The hell are you, bringing up the cenobium in here? Throw him out! This is the Bloodhound's territory. The vitriol catches me off guard. From the angry looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some unspoken rule just by mentioning the cenobium. When I glance at Leander, he's drinking as though he hasn't noticed uproar. Only when he catches me looking does he lower his glass. For the love of... He drags a hand over his face. Hey, keep it down, will ya? This is business. I tense, expecting an argument, but the outspoken bloodhounds silently return to their drinks. Only a handful continue to watch me warily. Sorry about them. The cenobium's a bit of a touchy subject in these parts. Mix in enough drinks and, well, you saw. How about we continue this outside? When I give him a terse nod, he pushes away from the bar's counter. I think the cenobium, unless they're like rivaling factions, I think the cenobium might not be a good choice. Everyone kind of hates them. I follow Leander to an alleyway tucked behind the Wet Wick where layers of frayed bloodhound posters have been plastered to the walls. Seeing them side by side, the resemblance between Leander and his likeness on the posters is impressive. Whoever did it, good artist. Curse didn't send you here for help with cenobium, did he? I thought he did. From the look he gives me, he already knows the answer. I glance away. Oh, he didn't. He said, I asked if he knew anyone that would know what to do about my hand thing, maybe. No, he didn't. He suggested I find an alternative. Yet here you are, asking about them anyway. What do you need the cenobium for? I don't want to tell him about my curse. The less people know about my capabilities, the better. Thankfully, Leander takes my reluctant silence as an answer. Well, I see you're already aware of the city's currency. Information's worth its weight in gold here. Kura's told you the truth. The cenobium's dangerous. Get on their bad side and they'll imprison you if you're lucky, or torture you if you're not. But the cenobium's supposed to be a place of learning, a sanctuary. Cenobium has always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in a world steeped in nightmares. If any place held answers, it would be the cenobium. That's why I came here. That's what they want you to think, but things that seem too good to be true are often just that. Such a simple statement, and yet it leaves me reeling. If it's true, if I staked everything on a lie, then what now? Kind of in a situation, I guess, where all I have is hope. Leander clears his throat. But as I always say, there's solutions to every problem and alternatives to every solution. He claps his hands and turns to me with a brilliant smile. That's why Kuros pointed you to the Bloodhounds. Let us help you. Whether it's hunting soulless, finding people, or recovering stolen valuables, we do it all, and free of charge. Suspicious. You know what they said? Not to trust people that are giving things for free, even though Kuros gave me free clothes, and technically free bandages, and free medical care. I'm getting a lot of free things, actually. That's a little suspicious. I'm shaking my head before he's even finished his practice speech. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. Listen, I appreciate the offer, but my problem can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my chagrin, Leander nods slowly. Then your problem must be fairly serious, and if the cenobium's your first choice, you're searching for a magical solution, aren't you? When my eyes widen, he nods along as though he suspected all along. You did not suspect all along! I know you bluffing, man. I'd be happy to help you out. That is, if you tell me what ails you. Well, he would kind of need to know, I guess. Maybe if, he wants to find the right person. Leander might not work for the cenobium, but he is a mage, and a powerful one at that, if his demonstration earlier is any indication. Well, is that powerful? Because it seems simple if you think about the fact that it looks like he just conjured a flower. Is it a high technical thing? I'm silent, plagued by indecision. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I hate to admit it, but this could be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a pained whisper. I'm cursed. Cursed? Oh, now I'm very curious. What kind of curse? Something ancestral or more recent? He looks me up and down, taking in my face, my eyes, and finally my hands. It's your hands, isn't it? Well, who would have thought, man? I don't know. I have bandages on these. Look, it's pretty obvious. I wait until I'm certain my voice will remain steady before answering. My touch is dangerous. It changes people, hurts them. Before I can even finish, Leander begins taking his glove. Hold on! This is not experimentation time! You should not do that! Before I even finish, Leander begins taking his gloves off. He tugs his left hand free and flexes his fingers. Let's see. He offers me his hand and a prismatic flush of magic ripples across his palm, but I'm already shrinking backwards. Yeah, I don't know if I'm comfortable with doing that, and then having to face the action that I caused. I can't. I don't care how confident Leander is. I can't bring myself to hurt him, to see his kind face twist into a mask of madness, like that traveler. Believe me, this isn't an ordinary curse. I'll be fine. Perhaps where you come from, your affliction was strange and one of a kind. But spend a year in this city and you'll see 1,000 curses and thrice as many cures. Do you really think Kuros would send you here if I couldn't handle it? guess. Also, why is your strap under your clothes? I just noticed. Why is your, like, you know, the strap that goes right above your chest, why is it going under your clothes? Isn't that uncomfortable? Because your top layer looks like it's compressing. Oh, well, whatever. It's not my... He can dress however he wants. I will not judge. I will question, though. How should I know? I only met him today. I'm as good as any mage in Cenobium. Better, even. If they can help, so can I. You don't know what you're asking me. I'm asking you to trust me. And I'm telling you that I'm gonna get a lot of trauma if I do this to you. Especially because you just said you're the most powerful mage. If you go into madness, the city is being leveled. I look from Leander's outstretched hand to his confident smile. Then, with a short breath, I begin unwinding the bandages from my hand. Fine, but if you lose control, don't say I didn't warn you. You can tie me up first if it makes you feel better. Hey, we're having a serious situation. Stop blushing. We are not having that kind of situation. This is serious. This is about my life. With each joint I expose, I grow more and more certain that this is a terrible idea. I hope we're in a secluded area because I would hate for someone to like bump into me and go mad, you know? Ready when you are. If he's bothered by the way my hand looks, he doesn't show it. My fingers hover shakily over his palm. 3, 2, 1. I'm not fucking doing it, bitch! Hold on. Save often. I'm not fucking doing it! I hesitate at the last second, but Leander does not. His hand closes tightly around mine. The instant his fingers graze mine, his expression goes blank. Leander? I try to pull away, but he won't let go. Maybe they're faking me out, and maybe he goes blank because he's like studying my hand in his magic brain. My stomach sinks, fear clutching me even harder than Leander's grip as he takes a slow, deliberate step forward. His free hand rises, outstretched fingers angling towards my neck. No, you're just fine. Interesting. That's one hell of a curse. His hands land gently on my shoulder to steady me. I didn't even realize I was shaking. I search Leander's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. So he was using his magic brain. Stop! Why are you blushing? I don't even know what's going on! Color rises to his cheeks, but he remains still, except for the subtle bobbing of his throat. Why are you blushing? Is it because we're like holding hands or something? I don't know what's going on, man. Neither of us speak as I trace the contours of Leander's palm, lost in an awareness I wasn't prepared for. Also, I'd assume that our character isn't used to like this kind of human contact, because, you know, madness. I've been with other people, kissed them, been embraced by them, and more, but not like this. I haven't had bare hand-to-hand hand-holding. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail. The grooves of his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the pulse of his heart. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand. Not without dire consequences. I never realized what I was missing until this moment. While Leander's pulse is steady, mine is hammering as fear gives way to excitement. I mean, yeah, that would make sense. I understand where you're coming from, lady. You know what? Do what you want. Keep touching him. My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up his forearm. I mean, like, cause this is your first time, like, feeling a hand proper and feeling things with your hands. I don't want to stifle, you know, my character from the experience. My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up his forearm, where smooth skin abruptly gives way to the raised scar by the edge of his sleeve. It matches the one that runs from his collar to his cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? I glance at Leander's face, and his lips part as he considers his words before speaking. Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this? My hand goes still on his arm. So far. I'll admit, your touch does make it somewhat difficult to stay level-headed, but not due to your power. You need to calm down, you dog! You dog! He takes my hand, his soft green eyes flick to mine, before he turns it to inspect the gold fissures crisscrossing my knuckles. Look, we match. He points at a golden pin on his coat collar, and I give a small... Okay, that is actually so cute, though. I don't know why, but that's so cute. I give a small smile. I draw my hand back and take a steadying breath. My head feels as though it's stuffed with cotton. Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hand, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe that worked. May I ask your name? Oh my god, you didn't even know my name before all this premarital hand-holding? Can't believe you. I'm Emma. You were right to hide this from me, Emma. This curse of yours, it's unlike anything I've ever dealt with. I can tell you're discreet, but you best not go showing that off to anyone else. I didn't plan on it. Are you staying in Lowtown? I didn't even know this place was called Lowtown until, like, 5 minutes ago. I pause. Room and board are something I haven't yet considered. So, I understand that you are the Bloodhounds, and you do things, you help people, free of charge. I know I talked about being suspicious of, free things, but I mean... Could you provide me room and board? I don't know. Let's get you properly settled then. In the bar? I'm sleeping on that counter? The Wet Wick is noticeably quieter. Without their leader, most of the Bloodhounds have dispersed, or in a few cases, fallen asleep beside their drinks. Got any rooms left, or did my lot grab them all to sleep it off? The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key towards the counter. You know I always keep the corner room open for your escapades. Leander laughs, sounds slightly strained. Escapades, eh? And I always appreciate it, but you're mistaken. This is just for my friend, Emma. Sure. Stay as long as you like. You two have fun. Escapades, huh? Leander clears his throat, then holds the key out to me, but I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. How much do I owe you? Nothing. Bloodhound rates. Free. But I don't know about free. Free's a little suspicious. My treat since you shared your secret. Food, drink, a warm bed, anything you need. Carefully, I take the key from him. It's small, but weighs heavy in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Iridia, let alone free meals. Thank you. Go explore, Emma. You'll find many roads in Iridia, each leading to different answers, but if you need a reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. Just be careful. I nod, taking one last look at the gleaming bronze key, before tucking it into the pocket of my coat for safekeeping. Leander gives me one last friendly wave before I depart. Goodbye! Have fun with your escapades! Maybe I should have gotten a drink before I left, because I feel like it's always fun to walk around while eating. The air clings, sodden and heavy. Without the morning crowd, the sunless streets look barren and bleak. Even the peddlers are long gone. Only a pair of crows remain quibbling over stale crusts in a gutter. I feel a ridiculous pang of envy. At least they've got reason to fight. I've never felt so lost. Kiros and Leader both made it clear that the Cenobium can't be trusted, but I came so far, endured so much. I need to see the Cenobium for myself, if only to satisfy my curiosity. I should have asked someone at the bar for directions before leaving. No, you shouldn't have. You know, they would have looked at you like you were crazy, because they don't like the Cenobium around here. Uh-oh. I'm about to turn back when a shadow passes over me. Uh-oh, spooky scary. Spooky scary. Ooh, ew, spooky scary? A cloud, I think, until a puff of hot breath tickles the back of my neck. The shadows run down the streets in rivulets. Formless dark spreads like ink into blotted shapes. Claws stretch. A muzzle splits open to reveal long, jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep I feel it. I feel like... Random comment as I'm going through this, I feel like we missed some commas. I feel like there should be some commas that are not here. My grasp of the English language is limited, and it's been a long time since I've taken an English class, but I feel like commas would make this reading experience easier on me. As a selfish individual. There we go. Anyways, I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped as though the slightest movement or a single breath will snap the jaws around me shut. No, I won't let it end like this. If I'm going to die, I want to see what got me first. I steel myself, then turn. Oh, magic! Poof! The shadow vanishes as quickly as it came. I'm left standing in the middle of the street, alone except for a figure reclining in the shade of a nearby stoop. What's a stoop? Oh, my eyes. What's a stoop? I see those shadows behind you, you motherfucker! A monster. I forgot those existed. I forgot those existed. What was it? Monsters and what? Monsters and mayhem. Whatever. We'll call it that. A monster. That much is clear from a glance. One that could nearly be mistaken for a human were it not for the tufted ears, the tails curled around his ankle. Or the dusk pink eyes with pupils that sharpen like needles when they fall on me. Our eyes meet and the monster uncrosses his long legs. That was fucked up, man. I don't know why you tried to scare me. His hair gleams a shade of red that reminds me unsettlingly of blood, where it curls around his collared throat. Jumpy, aren't you? His tone is so light and free that I glance over my shoulder to make sure he's speaking to me. When I look back, the stranger props his chin on his knuckles and regards me with an inscrutable little smile. Did you see the shadow just now? It was massive, moved like a beast. Even as I speak, I'm aware of how ridiculous I sound, but the stranger's smile doesn't falter. Do you not see the background? I'm pretty sure this is the ruler of the shadows! The only beasts I've seen are the Wicks drooling regulars, though this did catch my eye. Hey! That's my free room! That's my free room and board! I'm broke! Give it back! With a flourish of his hand, my in-room key appears dangling from his finger. It turns on its chain, glittering where it catches the light. Look, I'm gonna have to go back to the dude and, I don't know, pay him some money and tell him that I lost the key because some fucking monster took it from me, and tell him that he has to change the lock, and I'm gonna make you pay for it, okay? Except you're probably gonna escape before I can, so honestly, you might kill me before I can, so, never mind that. My hands fly to my coat pockets, and sure enough, find them flat. He crooks his finger, beckoning. I've already taken 2 steps forward before some stifled instinct stops me. Something feels wrong. I'm still on the edge, thrumming with so much adrenaline that the stranger's shadow flickers at the edges of my vision. You sure it's not flickering? Normally? I always attract the worst kinds of attention, but I can't get rattled now. Who said that my key? Who said that my key? Who said that key was mine? He smiles wide enough to reveal pointed canines. I saw you drop it. You really should be more careful. A city like this, somebody might take advantage. A bald-faced lie without a hint of irony. I can't figure out how he picked my pockets under my nose, but I'm certain he took my key, and I need it back. I approach the man, careful to keep an arm's length away. He doesn't look dangerous, but the most deadly ones never do. Key, please. Your ears literally just changed. Okay, that's because they flicked. The stranger's chain softly clicks with the tilt of his head. His ears flick. Keeping your distance? Whoa. Shadow beast, you know? I don't know if you could blame me for that. I'd be stupid to trust you. You think I stole your dinky little key from all the way over here? Look! Shadow beast, you know? He gives an exaggerated sigh. I'm good with my hands, but not that good. Do I really look like a con man thief to you? He's got me there. The sheer fabric of his sleeves alone would be too expensive for most street thieves. Hell, his shoes look like they cost more than I spent traveling here. And then there's the shop behind him. No matter the city, parted pink curtains only ever mean one thing. Look, I'm not looking to buy, and I doubt I could afford your services anyway. Luckily for you, I don't charge. The man runs the tip of his tongue over a fang, and for the first time since I stepped into the shadow, I feel something other than dread. My face grows hot. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I didn't. I'm flattered, really. Were sex my trade, I might make an exception for you. How about half off for a handy... No. Or you could just handy over my keys. Ask nicely, and I might even let you tug my tail. Just throw it here, so some spindly little street urchin can snatch it and run. Do you see any street urchins here? I don't see any. I only see one, and that's you. He raises my key and tilts his head so that he can watch it dangle back and forth. I suppose I could just claim your room for myself. Not that I'd be caught dead slumming in the wick with the rest of those slack-jawed imbeciles. You're obviously not from around here, so tell me, traveler. What misfortune brought you to this wretched place? His voice practically drips with derision. I'm not telling you anything. What could have possibly drawn you to this dreary little pig pen? I wonder. He listlessly watches the arc of my key swing around his finger. The weather's shit, the food's dreck, and there's entirely too many monsters for a human to feel safe. Unless... Dagger-sharp eyes flick towards me. They gleam with amusement. Close them. Don't look at me that way. Don't look at me like a toy. Unless you're just dying to consort with monsters. You think too highly of yourself. I just want to go to the Cenobium. Cenobium, I think it was. By now, my embarrassment has worn away, leaving simmering impatience in its place. If this is a shakedown, it's the most frustrating one I've ever had. I ain't flirting with this bitch. Turn him down! Are you done? Or did you plan on flirting with me until night falls? He touches his chest in mock affront. You wound me. How could you be so immune to my charms? You're about as charming as an ox and half as subtle. I suggest you go practice your seduction on someone interested. That earns me a burst of breathy laughter. How about you teach me the ropes? Show me a thing or two. The more he flirts, the more convinced I become that this is some kind of trap. No matter how innocent monsters look, they always have tricks up their sleeves. And something tells me that this one's more dangerous than he lets on, even if he has a lovely laugh. I mean, I did get shadowified, and this dude just fucking watched or did it, you know? I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me, but I'm not coming any closer until I know you're not going to attack or bite. I won't bite hard unless you beg me. No matter what I say, he finds a way to twist my words into innuendo. Even when I'm silent, he goes on as though we're having a conversation, not a standoff. Do you like dancing? There's a traveling troupe performing in Hightown tonight. Their lutist is utterly exquisite. Truly a performance to die for. There's life in this dreadful place if you know where to look. You sound like you know the city well. The man's gaze flickers from me to the key dangling from his finger. Naturally, this dump was little more than a miserable little smear when I first arrived. Hightown, Lowtown, I know Iridia like the back of my hand. What about the Cenobium? Do you know where that is? Oh, he doesn't like the Cenobium. No one here likes the Cenobium. His smile vanishes. Surely you've seen it. That absurdly large tower looming over the rest. It's a little hard to miss. He must mean the spire I noticed when I first caught sight of Iridia. The Cenobium's overrated. Forget about it. I can show you things those stuffy boars in their limp-dig tower wouldn't even dream of. I've already got plans. Oh? Have you some pressing matters at the Cenobium? Lunch dates with librarians? Tea times with the most esteemed abbess? That's my business. What does it matter to you? I square my shoulders and the amusement bleeds out of him. Your loss. The stranger, finally bored of his tedious game, extends his hand towards me. The key rests on his palm, neatly dividing skin and leather. Hold, actually, curiously, does our curse work on monsters? Does it work on any living being we touch with our hands? When he makes no other moves, I reach for the key, but as soon as my fingers graze smooth brass, his hand springs shut around my elbow. Rude? Rude? Hey! He yanks me down and I stagger, my soul slipping on the steps. Wait, I do have shoes. I guess my shoes are like not that good? Because earlier they were talking about the fact that I could feel the rough, like, what was it, cobblestone or something under me. For a sick moment, I fear my bandages will unravel under his touch, but he's careful not to disturb them, even as his fingers dig into my arms. Oh, his eyes changed. I knew I smelled blood. You reek of death in the road. And that fucking doctor. His voice, once silken, lowers to a smoky growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil as he pulls me closer. See, he is the shadow dude! And something else. He murmurs against my throat, nose grazing my jaw. Personal space? Let go! I try to twist away, but he doesn't budge. His breath trails down my neck, sending a thrill of dread through me. But just when I fear he'll bite, he takes a deep whiff instead. His wide, flat eyes gleam with naked hunger as he gazes up at me. Didn't I just leave the wet wick? The wet wick? Not quite human, not quite monster. Seems we're both... there! The stranger's ears flatten, and he releases me with a short breath. I yank my arm back, massaging it where his grip left grooves in the bandages. The stranger twists around to watch a woman duck out from the curtains behind him. Her pressed uniform marks her as a cleric of the cenobium. I leave you for all of what, 10 minutes? And you're making trouble again? Will you quit harassing the tourist? The stranger, Vare I take it, rolls his eyes and flashes the cleric a withering smile. So suspicious. Can't you see this is a friend of mine? A natural liar. He grins at me and his tail switches minutely. The woman purses her lips at me, clearly unconvinced. I opened my mouth to correct him, but Vare cuts in. I was graciously offering my dear friend some free advice. Though his voice remains light and cheerful, his expression darkens. Danger's drawn to you like a moth to a flame. It'll always find you given time. The woman clucks her tongue as though she's heard this recital 102 times. Word of advice? Don't take free advice from lazy foxes lounging in the streets. This crook would sell water to a drowning man for the sheer enjoyment of it. She shrugs off a wilting look from Vare. Oh, please. Any friend of yours knows it's true. Now hold still. Vare rises gracefully at her approach. He pushes his hair back so it drapes over one shoulder, exposing the long line of his neck. And suddenly it dawns on me that the jingling I heard earlier wasn't coming from the harness attached to his collar, but a leash. A heavy iron chain wrapped around a hitching post and padlocked to the back of his collar. Vare posed deliberately to hide his leash from me. The woman produces a keyring from her pocket. She rifles through a dozen identical keys before selecting one and slotting it in the lock. Come on, unless your friend's tagging along on our merry little solace hunt. They're hunting for solace inside the city? Words momentarily fail me. The woman regards me with a polite, if tight smile before marching down the stairs. Vare lingers. He stretches his arm over his head with a yawn, and I try not to stare at the way his stomach flattens when he arches his back. Your little secret's safe with me. Try not to get yourself killed, Vare hops off the stoop and bounds after the woman. His tail sways merrily as though he hasn't just lied and threatened me. Did you try the thing I mentioned? The Leventian knot? That's the one where you take 3 fingers and... Actually, don't tell me. Knowing you, it's disgusting. Vare's airy laugh echoes down the street. It's only after he and the cleric have vanished from sight I realize I'm still missing something. My key! Wait! Reflectively, I shove my hands in my pockets and find it, the room key. I pull it out of my pocket and raise it to the light just to be sure. A nagging feeling distracts me from my relief. I don't know what Vare's game was or what he wanted from me. All I know for certain is that the cenobium saw fit to leash him, a fate I could share if that's what his vague warning meant. I let my eyes drift skyward, past the lanterns gently swaying in the breeze to the cenobium faintly visible through the haze. Just one glimpse is all I need. Then I can put this all behind me. This time, the key goes into my coin purse for safekeeping. But if I put everything in my coin purse, someone take my coin purse, my coins and my keys are gone. It's easy enough to follow the sluggish river that splits Irida in two. A colossal bridge arches over the dark waters below. I cross as quickly as I can, climbing ever uphill towards the distant tower. Ooh, the cenobium looks good. Kind of like mythological. Greek. Is that the right thing to say? Greek? The Greek architecture? No, I like calling it mythological. I feel like that sounds better. Hours later, legs aching, sweat beading from my forehead, I finally find what I was searching for. The cenobium of the luminous void. It stands at the highest point of Iridia, surrounded by cold white walls. Well-dressed people stroll down the walkways, paying no attention to the massive tower in their midst. I'm the only one standing there before the gates. I crane my neck up and up until the top of the cenobium tower disappears into the clouds above. My stomach gives an uneasy lurch, though far grander than the humble shrine of my youth. The cenobium gives the same impression of being a gilded birdcage. This is a really gilded birdcage, though. Knocking seems like a terrible idea, but I don't see any other way of making my presence known. I'm halfway up the steps when something moves in my peripheral. A shadowy figure crouches behind one of the white walls. They reach out and tug on a vine as if testing its strength. Look, if I can see you, and I am just a person, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get caught, mate. And I think, you probably shouldn't do that. Yeah, I knew it. Oi, you there! The shadow vanishes as quickly as I spotted it, and a gaunt-faced man in a crisp charcoal uniform marches up the steps towards me. Ugh, another tourist. Get out of here once you're done gawking. A dismissive wave accompanies his equally dismissive words, and he turns on his heel without waiting for an answer from me. I look back at where I saw the intruder, but there's nothing, just the leaves blowing gently in a cool wind. You're telling me no one saw that guy, but they saw me? Well, I am standing in the middle of the path. But you didn't see the guy? You know, the person trying to scale the walls? I think I could scale those walls. They don't look very impenetrable with those holes. I step away from the gates, hopelessness washing over me. Hello. A whisper, so close I can feel the warm brush of breath on my skin. I instinctively jerk away, but there's no one besides me. Halfway down the staircase, I spot a woman swaying in the breeze. She's gaunt as a rail, her blouse moth-eaten. I'm unable to take my eyes off her, not because of the way she smiles a little bit too widely, or the way her tousled braids look unbrushed for days, but because her eyes shine a vibrant, unnatural crimson. I'm both entranced and unsettled by their subtle glow. These days, you'll need a miracle to get in there. I'm unsure how to respond, or if I even should. Her gaze is uncomfortably fixed on me, heavy as lead. Nothing! After the experience I've just had, I'm not too keen on indulging strangers with small talk, or fucking people that are kind of scaring me. Despite my silence, she maintains her unflinching stare and smile. Lucky for you, I have miracles for free. Whatever she's selling, I'm not interested. My words come out in a tired breath. No thanks. I start down the stairs, but she abruptly steps in my path. Guard, you gonna do anything about this lady, like, skulking in front of your place? She turns her back to me, and before I can react, she slips her fingers under the lacing of her collar, stripping out of her blouse in broad daylight. What are you doing? As worn fabric unveils bare skin, my panic is smothered by cold horror. A misshapen, sunken scar carves into the woman's body. Pitted, gnarled skin snakes down her shoulders, blooming from a gaping hole in the back of her neck. A shuddering breath escapes me. The fuck? Whatever disease this woman had ate away at her from the inside out. How is she able to move or breathe? It's impossible. She shouldn't be alive, and yet... The power to cure anything can be yours too. The power of the sea spring. The woman slides back into her blouse and deftly laces it up. If I've caught your interest, then follow me. It's only a short walk away. Without another glance, she leisurely strolls down the cenobium stairs, loose braids bobbing behind her. The edge of her scarf peeks out from under her collar. I stand there wordless until I manage to regain my bearings. It's a twisted miracle, but a miracle nonetheless. This could be the stupidest decision of my life, but what choice do I have? I take a final look at the cenobium's shut gates, then follow her down the steps. No! No! Didn't you see? She looked a little mentally not stable! We descend from the high streets, leaving behind this gilded decadence as we cross the river. The wet derelict districts feel more familiar to me. But the crimson-eyed woman takes me further, then further still, until I've met with an all too familiar sight. I think she's taking me to get eaten. I think I'm going to be sacrificed. My gut lurches when I face the open horizon. The city's outskirts are hardly recognizable in daylight, and probably safer for it, but venturing beyond Iridia's walls is a gamble I wasn't prepared to take so soon. Keep going straight, and the sea spring will reveal itself to you. I bark out a bitter laugh, loud and involuntary. I'd rather not. Are you kidding? It's not safe out there. You're as safe inside the city as outside of it. Truthfully, the territory before you is the safest of all. What do you mean, territory? This region belongs to Ice. Most people know him as a gang leader, but he's much more than that. A cult leader? I squint against the empty wasteland. Only a fool or someone with nothing to lose would leave the city. Apparently I'm both. But if this sea spring cured her, I need to see what it can do for me. Are you sure it maybe didn't turn her mad? I set off into the waste. Over my shoulder, the woman calls after me. Good luck, Emma. I hope we meet again. My heart pounds with each step I take from civilization. It doesn't take me long to realize it's not the only heartbeat I hear. Like a snagging through the back of my mind, I sense another pulse thrumming through the earth beneath my feet. I felt this presence before, when I first stepped out of Kuros's clinic. A living dread courses underneath the city, only this time I'm getting closer to it. For what seems like an eternity, I force each step forward. One step, then another, until a realization hits me. I never told that woman my name. Something pierces the horizon ahead of me. I think I'm going to die. A building nestled into a tall cliffside, but so starkly out of place, it might as well be a hallucination. It drips with extravagance and honeyed mahogany, an ornate jewel of architecture. A row of dark silhouettes stand out on the horizon. Trees, I think, until I'm close enough to realize that what I mistook for branches were spikes and jutting tendrils. Soulless. Several of them watch in the distance like statues. I just run. Exploding into a messy sprint, I push my legs as fast as they'll take me towards that decorated building. Flashes of light chase after me, the gushes of blood and screams of death. The smell of burning flesh and sour bile. I can't go through that again. I won't. The next thing I know, I'm dashing up wooden stairs and crashing through the towering double doors. This is a cult. I'm very sure this is a cult. I think I am being sacrificed. I gasp for air, my lungs burning from exertion. I'm desperate to be safe, but when I process my surroundings, I'm in what looks to be haunted. This place looks kind of cursed. It's more hellscape than sanctuary. The water is red. Someone was drinking tea here. The water was red. You know, every depiction of hell shows that bloody landscape. Blood flows all around me, overwhelming my vision with a lurid, unholy red. Instinctively, my hands leap up to my mouth. But the rotten stench of blood never comes. Instead, a smoky scent hangs in the air, sharp and spiced. Tea? This place made of tea? I swallow thickly, convincing myself that it's not as gruesome as it appears. This has to be the sea spring, the place that grants miracles. Pulling my eyes away from the pool, I take in the rest of the environment. Tall pillars flank me, blanketed in written notes. Seating pillows scatter the floor. A rustic kettle sits nearby. Someone must live here, despite how eerily empty it is. I don't want to draw attention. I approach the paper-covered pillars. Maybe something here can tell me more. I reach for it. I would reach for the closest one. I'd probably go for the top. Well, that's for tall people, so I'll just stay in my lane. I reach for the note at the lower end. It reads, "They watch me through the mirrors. They won't stop staring. They know what I did, but they won't have me. I'm safe now. I'm safe now. I'm safe now." Ulsi Zapovu Zovpun Sahi Ol. Good enough. The writing deteriorates into unintelligible scrawl. Before I can ponder it further, a sharp chill runs down my spine. Something's watching me. Yeah, fucking probably the cave and the deity in the cave that's like corrupted by the fucking nuclear explosion that happened that caused radiant upon this city. I quickly set the note back, my arms darting around the wooden deck. But it's still empty, vacant. Something's gonna come out the water. Finally, I look towards the sea spring. That stillness hides something deeper, something wrong, something familiar. It's watching me. Hey. I spin around and come face to face with a pack of soulless? You guys can speak? They chitter and growl, tendrils and spikes flaring threateningly. All different sizes and species, but sharing one identical trait, glowing crimson eyes. I try to back away, but my heels teeter over the sea spring. I'm cornered. Watch your step. It's deeper than it looks. That voice again. At the sound of it, the soulless freeze, their snarls quieting. Are you ice? Also, you run this place, man? Little suspicious, you know? I search for the voice's source and find it above me, lounging in the rafters. You look lost, little sparrow. Changing that voice. You look lost, little... I can never do male voices, but it's not like I can never do voices, you know? But it doesn't feel right to do his voice with mine. You look lost, little sparrow. His voice is a violent crimson, one that sears through me, leaving me feeling raw and exposed. They're the same eyes I've seen over and over, first with the scarred woman, now with the soulless circling me, all bound by the sea spring's blood red. In the shroud of darkness... Them tentacles behind you! What the fuck? I just noticed! In the shroud of darkness behind him, shapes like massive tentacles twist and coil around the wooden beams. I can't focus. The soulless' growls ring in my ears. They're not advancing, but that could change at any second. Panic rises in my throat as I struggle to track them. Hey! Eyes on me. My stomach rolls as I tear my eyes away from the soulless. Don't ignore someone who's talking to you. It's not polite. For a moment, anger knocks my fear aside. Who is this bastard? I'm in a life and death situation. I'm just gonna say I'm distracted. Look. Fuck you. I'm kind of distracted by the soulless about to maul me. Only on my command. I scan the soulless again. They really aren't attacking. Posturing more than anything else. You tamed them? Power of the sea spring. They're hungry, so they might bite. You could give me a reason to stop them. How about I didn't do anything wrong? Trespassing. And that's punishable by death? He gives a non-committal shrug. Look, your followers sent me here. Expecting mercy would be your first mistake. My voice stops in my throat. The man's terse coolness is both infuriating and terrifying. I rack my brain for a way to diffuse the situation. Tell me what you want. I'm not in the mood for guessing games. Your hands. You know what? Take them. Okay, in all honesty, it'd be bad for me to lose my hands, but like my hands have also been a curse. Though I feel like if we had that That was a good option. We would have chopped them off long ago, I guess. Alarm jolts through me. I hide my hands under my cloak. Show me. Why? Won't ask twice. With a sharp huff, I reluctantly hold out my bandaged hands. You getting off on this? Unwrap them. Heat rushes to my face and fire to my tongue. I should give him a piece of my mind, but not when his solace are one command from ripping me to shreds. Yet, no matter how much I will myself to move, my body is frozen in place. I stand there for a long, agonizing minute. My hands are trembling when I finally raise them. I know the skin beneath the wrapping all too well, the hideous, unnatural flesh I've grown to despise. I grip the edges of my bandages. Stop. What would happen if I touched the solace with these hands, though? I really want to know. With a weary sigh, the man slides off the beam and lands with a thud that shakes the panels underfoot. He's a monster, with an imposing figure that towers over me. I can't tell how tall he was before, but he's big. Tall people. Illuminated by lantern light, his features are stronger, sharper. Subtle clicks of metal accompany each of his footsteps. The closer he gets to me, the faster my heart hitches. What does he want? Is he going to kill me? I step backwards and find nothing to step my foot on. I'd forgotten my back was to the C-spring. I fall, right before a warm hand catches my lower back. I'm hovering above the C-spring, the scent of smoke and leather enveloping me. Blazing crimson eyes bore into mine. Told you to watch your step. I'm too stunned to muster a response. Like I weigh nothing, he guides me back to solid ground and steps aside. Following a subtle gesture from his fingers, the souls around us disperse and relax. The shift in their demeanor is so abrupt it gives me whiplash. The enormous tentacles are no longer in the rafters, though now I doubt I ever saw them at all. Either way, I exhale a breath of relief. Thanks. As focused on me as he was before, the monster pays no attention to me now. He kicks some seating pillows out of the walkway, checks the contents of the kettle with a scowl. The sudden disregard is almost insulting. So that's it? I'm not a threat anymore? Never were one. Then why'd you threaten me? People get honest when they're afraid. In other words, he was messing with me. I drag my hand over my face, exhausted by the fact that this is the second time a monster has provoked me today. You're ice, aren't you? Depends who's asking. One of your friends told me this was your territory. She also said you were a gang leader. But there's no one else here. I thought there'd be more people. Ice picks up the kettle and walks to the edge of the C-spring, then dumps out the contents into the endless red. Is it literally tea? Is that why it's that color? Gang took a walk. His pleasant smile stretches across his face, ear to ear. Then in an instant, it drops. I get a sense that I shouldn't ask about his gang again. What do you want the C-spring's powers for? Depends. Can it cure a curse? Probably. You mean you don't know? Nope. He shakes out the empty kettle and starts collecting stray cups, tidying up. My frustration builds. I narrow my eyes at him in a questioning glare. When he notices, he returns it with an amused smirk. Are you being irritating on purpose? Listen, Sparrow. The C-spring can cure anything. Nothing's stopping you from trying yourself. What do I have to do? Drink. I have to drink from the C-spring? My eyes glide to the blood-like pool behind us. The idea of ingesting the strange liquid makes my guts churn. I feel like that makes sense. They call it the C-spring. If you're going to the C-spring, it's liquid. If you want your wish granted, you're gonna have to drink that liquid. Is there a price? Always. Ice taps his temple with a finger. You lose it a little bit. Yeah, I assumed so. That's it. Might have already beat it to the punch. My humor earns me a amused, faint grin. This is a little different. When you drink from the C-spring, you forget who you are. Your mind combines with everyone else who drank before. Humans, monsters, soulless, one big happy family in your head. Hive mind! My blood runs cold. I've heard of this before. Group minds. My attendants used to tell me that my power granted people access to the higher plane of understanding. A group mind of my own making. All lies. But something tells me this is real, even if one thing doesn't add up. Your eyes are red too, but you obviously haven't forgotten who you are. Before I can finish my sentence, Ice strides past me towards the entrance. Time's up. Let's finish this later. Wait, already? You barely told me anything. Come on a bad day. I've got somewhere to be. There's still questions burning at the tip of my tongue, but my frustration spills out before any of them. I was told to come here for help, but instead I get threatened and kicked out. You're joking, right? Watch your tone. I'm nice, but you don't want to ruin the host's mood. My skin prickles. The feeling of being watched washes over me again. My eyes dart back over to the sea spring. A lone ripple dances on the quiet surface. I take Ice's advice and clamp my mouth shut. Ice approaches a nearby Solus, a lanky dog-like one with 6 legs and a crown of tendrils. Several sets of crimson eyes adorn its sides. Its forked tail wags rapidly when Ice squats beside it. He runs his fingers through the tendrils, scratching its chin and patting its head. A gentle smile plays across Ice's lips. The affection he holds for the Solus is painfully clear. I dip my eyes away, my stomach fluttering at the tender sight. It's getting dark out, so this pretty girl will guide you back. Can I pet it? Can I pet the dog Solus? Following a short whistle from Ice's lips, it trots over to the entrance obediently, tail swaying. I watch the Solus warily. Pretty is not a word I would use to describe it, and the idea of it protecting me sounds absurd. But I'd rather have that protection over no protection, and also fantasy dog. I want to pet it, if it'll let me. If I decide to drink, how should I find you? Find someone with eyes like mine. They'll point you in the right direction. But think it over. Once you drink, you can't go back. It's a lot to process, but I give a small nod. At least I know I have other options for a cure, as disturbing as it may be. I follow the Solus at a measured distance and watch it nudge the giant doors open with ease. When I'm about to cross the threshold, I sneak one last glance behind me. My heart skips a beat when I meet Ice's eyes. I'm about to snap my head away, but he just flashes me an easy smile. Till next time, Sparrow, I'll buy you a drink for scaring you. Not very remorseful, though, I feel. I don't trust myself to do anything, then respond with another curt nod. Can I pet you, doggo? Can I pet you? Outside, more crimson-eyed Solus scuddy about. It's hard to believe it's the same threatening pack from before. They chase each other in circles, roll around in bog's mud. They pay no attention to me as the dog one escorts me away. It's an uneventful trip. Sometimes the Solus looks over its shoulder at me to make sure I'm still following. Dog! Dog! Let me pet the dog, Solus! And then get me killed, but regardless... Dusk darkens the sky by the time we reach the city. I can't sense the massive heartbeat anymore. Maybe it's all in my head. The Solus sits and looks at me expectantly with familiar crimson eyes. As nervous as I am, I carefully glide my fingers through the Solus's tendrils and scratch behind its chin, just like Ice had. It pushes into my palm in response, rumbling with a sound akin to a purr. The vibrations are soothing, almost healing my fatigue. When it's satisfied, the Solus spins around and scampers back in the direction we came, vanishing into the dark. Great game, 10 out of 10. I could pet the Solus dog. It's barely my first day in Iridia, and I've already encountered so many things I thought were impossible. Tame Solus being one of them. My head spins. Maybe I should call it a day. I think you should. You've been through a lot, Queen. Nightfall creeps across the streets of Iridia. The city, labyrinthine, even in daytime, has become a warren of treacherous alleyways. The streets are completely deserted. If I hadn't been here earlier, I would have thought this part of the city was abandoned. I make my way through the winding streets, doing my best to keep my bearing towards the wet wick. My steps slow when I hear rustling in the dark. I strain my ears, but everything is still. Is the silence playing tricks on me? No, we are always aware of what is going on. Something is wrong. The fine hairs on the back of my neck prickle, a frisson of discomfort running down my spine. Something is wrong. My eyes dart from one side of the street to another, searching for movement, but the shadows are so deep and dark, like pools of ink, and I see nothing. I can't stay here. I need to reach a busier part of the city. Drawing my cloak tighter around my body, I hurry on my way. Though I keep my eyes sharp and listen intently, there's only the sound of my own footsteps. As the moments pass and nothing happens, I begin to wonder, maybe I really did imagine the noise. I turn the next corner and my thoughts come screaming to a halt. My head spins, the world blurring as adrenaline rushes through my veins. Only one thing is clear amidst the haze. Whee! You scared me for a bit there, Solus. The Solus that attacked the caravan. How do you know this is the exact one? I guess each one is distinct. There was the dog Solus. It's crouched over a dark, indistinct shape. A body. A garland of intestines spill from the pallid flesh. Blood grouts the cobblestone. For a mercy, the Solus is too distracted by its meal to have noticed me. My feet feel as heavy as stones, but I just can't stand here. Holding my breath, I take a step backwards. When the wet slurping sounds don't abate, I take another, then another. Then a shard of glass crunches under my heels. I pray that thigh will... Nope, you're not... Eat louder, please. Don't listen to me. You shouldn't let a little noise distract you from a meal. The world seems to slow to a crawl as the Solus raises its head, blood dripping from its tendrils. Every single one of its bulging eyes fixed unblinkingly on me. Look, I'm just saying. Look. That meal ain't gonna be as fresh if you go after me. You should finish your food. It's really here. It's come back for me. Run. Oh, timed event. Hold. Might be a timed event. Hold. Might be a timed event. I'm off like a shot, running for my life through the darkened streets. Behind me, a piercing bay splits the silence and heavy footfalls pound after me. My heart thunders in my chest. I take turns at random, trying to lose it in the maze of streets, but I can't seem to shake it. I can hear it breathing now, a wet, fluttering rasp, growing closer and closer. The same claws that severed my arms swipe out. I duck, saved by pure reflex, and skid around a corner. I take 3 running strides before the bottom drops out of my stomach. A wall twice as high as me bars my way, a dead end. When I turn around, the Solus looms in the entryway to the alley. It's no longer running. It doesn't have to. As it prowls closer, my thoughts race. Some of the buildings lining the streets are lit. There must be people inside. It's a long shot, but if I try the nearest door, I feel it'll be locked. If there's multiple people... I'm screaming for help, fuck it. Somebody help me! My voice rings through the shadowed streets. Silhouettes pass by the windows, but nobody answers. In this wretched world... Dang it, I fucking knew this would happen. Few people will stick out their neck to help their own flesh and blood, never mind a stranger. The Solus, provoked by my shouting, gives a rasping hiss. It's the only warning I get before it lunges for me with a flash of claws. I hurl myself to the side, but the slick cobblestone betrays me. I fall, sprawling over the rough stone. As the Solus looms over me, I scramble away from it until my back hits the wall. There's nowhere left to go. It descends on me for the kill. But the impact never comes. Who the fuck? I warily crack one eye open, and then the other, not sure whether I should believe what I'm seeing. Who the fuck? A hooded figure crouches in front of me, one blood-stained hand outstretched. Interesting, your eyes have a bit of red in them. Interesting. Moonlight silvers the edge of their stiletto knife. Their face and hands are splattered with blood, and the Solus... My eyes dart past my unexpected rescuer to the misshapen form behind them. The Solus's many eyes, once restless and vibrant, now dull and waxy. A red pool spreads slowly from under their body. I did not realize that Solus bled red. Interesting. Numbed with shock, I can't help but stare. It's dead. After all the people it's killed, after nearly killing me twice, I can hardly believe it. Well, I gingerly take the offered hand. The stranger's gaze dips to my bandages. Pale lips part on the brink of a question, then close again. With a strength belaying their slight frame, they pull me to my feet. Something about them is strange, unlike any human or monster I've ever met. I can't quite place my finger on it. As soon as I'm on my 2 feet again, they pull away from me and start wiping the blood from their face and hands. Stay there. They turn away from me stiffly, leaning over the Solus's gangly body. With their back towards me, I realize that I saw their hooded silhouette at the cenobium. You're shorter than I thought. That's kind of mean. Yeah, you saved me. Can I say thanks? I shouldn't have had to. Their harsh response takes me aback. Before I can formulate a response, they continue. What are you thinking, traveling alone at night? This is far from the worst thing haunting Lowtown. Look! I had to look at the juice! I can't make heads or tails of them. First they saved me and now they scold me? Lesson learned. I could do without the lecture, though. To my surprise, they break eye contact. Their attention glides back to the Solus's corpse. They examine it with an inscrutable expression. I clear my throat to fill the silence. I'm Emma, and I should be going back to my hotel room. Min. Suddenly, Min tenses. Their blade flashes as they drive it into the back of the Solus's neck. The Solus thrashes once, letting out a rattled hiss as the air leaves its lungs. Didn't even know you had lungs! Min leans over the blade, driving it deeper and deeper, until a sickening crunch. Then the creature goes limp. Bone? My heart thuds in my chest. It must have been clinging to life by a thread. Min straightens up, withdrawing their blade with a single smooth motion. It's better to put wretched things like this out of their misery. They calmly clean the blood from their knife. I swallow, my eyes still glued on the cooling corpse. Why is a Solus inside the city? Min looks at me, eyes searching, before realization dawns. You're new here. There's no walls around the city. Solus can come and go as they please until someone is contracted to stop them. The cenobium's patrols don't bother to protect Lowtown. Not anymore. Let me guess, you're not a fan of the cenobium? I wouldn't go that far. Their brow abruptly furrows and they sheath their knife, motioning for me to follow them. It's not safe here. The vultures can smell death. I'm not quite sure what they mean, but I don't want to stay lost in the city. I trail behind them as they stride down the street. If it's so dangerous, then why are you helping me? You were making an unbearable racket. Next time you walk into a Solus's claws, at least die quietly. No, thank you. Their answer is stingingly harsh. I just need to find my lodging. I hold my hand up, trying to forestall any more snippy comments. All right, I get it. I'd love to get out of your way, but I'm sort of lost. I just need directions back to my lodgings. What makes you think I'll help you? You've already helped me once tonight. Why not a second time? That seems to catch them off guard. Their brows knit and they look away, scowling. How troublesome. Emma? Oh, Dr. Dude! I keep forgetting your name, Kuras! I turn, surprised by the voice. Kuras walks down the street towards us. His white and gold clothing is pristine despite the grime of the city. Hello, Min. I see the Solus was your work. Min shrugs. There's a familiarity to the way they regard each other. This is so mean. Anyway, but I don't know Min enough, so I know Kuras more. You know them, Kuras? Min is a freelancer who has done a few errands for me. They are quite reliable. Unreliable freelancers don't eat. Emma needs to get back to wherever she's staying before she wanders into the jaws of another soulless. It is late. Were you able to find a place to stay, Emma? I'm staying at the Wet Wick. Both their faces fall. I see. Would you like a guide? It would be preferable to wandering around alleyways. That'd be nice. Min clicks their tongue and sighs, sounding mightily put out. Going to the Amaryllis district? That gaudy cesspit? Come, this way. Despite Min's clear distaste, when Kuras leads me down the street, they keep pace with us. Catching my curious glance, Min's eyes narrow. It's not safe this late. I don't care about you, but Kuris is the only doctor worth a damn in this place. Are you like this with everyone? The deadpan look Min gives me is answer enough. I catch Kuris hiding a slight smile. I suppress a sigh and resign myself to having a grumpy shadow all the way back to the wet wick. The route Kuris takes is completely different from my slow meandering earlier in the morning. In no time at all, he cuts through darkened streets and twisted alleys. It seems like half the city has poured into the Amaryllis district's colorful streets. Laughter, clinking glasses, and music assaults my ears from every direction. Yet the most noise comes from the wet wick. Its doors hang wide open, lanterns lit. Here we are. He moves towards the door, and Min lets out an audible huff. Don't tell me you're going in. I have some quick business with Leander. Oh, fine. He still owes me for yesterday's work. They drag their feet, reluctantly trailing me into the tavern. Oh, I just realized I have to voice 3 people and I don't remember how anyone sounds. Ha 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 ha. Hee. Short memory for the win. As soon as the door opens, a wave of sticky heat rolls over me. An hour since I left, the wick has grown suffocatingly crowded. Kuris stands out, easily a head taller than most. Even so, I nearly lose sight of him amidst the sea of swarming bodies. Yeah, when you're a little shorter and or like average height, you kind of can't really see above the people. Pardon me. The crowd parts as though answering his request. Kuris glances over his shoulder at Min and me before gliding through, like Moses parting the sea. How can anyone breathe in here? Min follows Kuris at a clipped pace. Leander is right where I left him, though he's traded places with the bartender. He holds a pair of shot glasses filled at the brim with luminous green liquid. Juice. And now for the finishing touch. A flash of magic paints the glass white with frost. You're never gonna guess what's in these. Leander slides the glass across the bar, and I get my 3rd and 4th shocks of the evening in rapid succession. Ice leans against the bar, an elbow propping up on the counter. He catches the glasses and lifts one to the light before turning it upside down. The contents, magically congealed, firmly stay in place. You're supposed to make drinks, pretty boy. Don't tell me you're wasted already. Vera, fuck, I have to do all 5. I don't remember what any of you guys sound like. Okay, whatever, we're going with it. We're just gonna do whatever. Vera perches on the bar's counter beside Ice, takes a single look at the shot glass and shakes his head. What have we here? A bucket full of boogers? Leander's nose treasures? You've eaten worse. Vera's lips twitch and his ears flatten when Ice offers him a glass. He turns his cheeks with a sniff and Ice just snickers. Coward. Don't tell me you're actually. In one fluid moment, Ice throws back his head and downs the shot. Like a jello shot. Drinking that. A dark look crosses Ice's face. It's chewy. Like jello. Jello isn't really well, nah, I don't think it's it. Chewy? Chewy? Fuck, I don't remember the voices. Chewy? Chewy? Let me try again. Behind me, Min grumbles. I told you this place was a nest of degenerates. If it isn't Kuris and Min. At the sound of Leander's voice, Min's pale eyes grow wide. They look ready to bolt until Kuris sets a hand on their shoulder. I promise this will not take long. Min's eyes dart from Kuris's hands to their face and then softens. Fine, you first. While they step forward, I linger behind, struck by a sudden revelation. All the people I met today know each other. Good evening, Leander. Ice. Another drinking competition, I presume? Oh, is it evening already? Could have sworn it was earlier. Just some friendly rivalry, Doctor. Nothing to be afraid of. See, they both have the same fucking tone. I can't separate them. Because they both look like people that would have deep voices. And that's the deepest I can go, which is kind of sad. And I don't want to do an accent because I think it would be really bad. Kuris acknowledges Leander and Ice with a slight nod, ignoring Vare entirely. Not that Vare seems to mind. He tilts his head and an impish smile curves his lips when he spots Min looming silently behind Kuras. I almost didn't see you there, Min. Looking for your booster seat? Min pushes down their hood. They level Vare with a cool look. I thought Ice wasn't allowed to bring his pets here. Vare's tail gives an angry twitch. Vare's tail gives an... Vare? Ice? Pet? Vare? Your eyes are red, and they did go full... I didn't think that earlier, though. I didn't say it, but I did think that earlier. But I thought maybe it was just a design decision, and then, like, not related. Anyways. Because, you know, red hair, red eyes. At the first sight of an impeding fight, Lavender vaults clear over the counter. He slides in between Ice and Kuras. No, let's try and keep the peace. It's not every day that the esteemed doctor takes us up on a drink. His arm snakes around Kuras' shoulder. You are finally taking me up on that drink, right, Kuras? I'm afraid not. We were merely escorting Emma back to her lodging. Kuras gestures in my direction and my stomach sinks. I reluctantly step into the light. As soon as he sees me, Leander's face brightens. Emma! It's been too long! Everyone, this is Emma. She's new to Iridia. I've met every fucking single one of you, and some of you guys are assholes, so I don't know if I want to, like, properly meet you. I feel 5 pairs of eyes fixed on me, and suddenly the bar feels suffocatingly small. My voice nearly catches in my throat. Hi again, everyone. Again? Wait, you've already met everyone? Ice and Vare look at me with subtly amused expressions. Vare's tail gives a lazy wag. We did. Not that long either. And I'm starting to suspect she's stalking me. Who's stalking who? I got here before you did. Remember, that was my room key. He looks far too pleased with himself when I roll my eyes. This calls for drinks. What does everyone want? I don't trust your drinks after seeing that it's chewy. In an instant, all eyes turn to Leander, freeing me from the burden of attention. I still can't believe they all know each other. Watching them talk amongst themselves feels surreal. But for the first time since I undertook the journey to Iridium, I feel a faint glimmer of hope. No. I know I was meant to meet them. The low, pleasant rumble of Leander's laughter pulls me from my restless thoughts. Well, color me surprised. You make friends fast, Emma. I wouldn't go that far. We're more like acquaintances. A wise man once said that acquaintances are merely friends you haven't shared a drink with yet. A wise man? You said that. Here, last week. I can hear Min's lip curl with distaste from across the bar. Leander clears his throat and continues, unperturbed. Let's toast to Emma's health. Care to join in, Doctor? Kuras politely declines with a wave of his hand. Not even what? How about you, Min? No. And you? No. A resounding pop pierces the din of the bar. We all turn in direction of the noise. Vare looks almost bashful as he accepts an overflowing flute from the bartender, pouring from a bottle so old its label has been worn blank. They serve champagne here? Since when? Vare pauses in the middle of licking champagne foam from his fingers with a coy smile. You don't mind, do you? In a transformation as impressive as his magic trick, the concern on Leander's face vanishes. He laughs softly. No, be my guest. I know you've got expensive taste. Then he shoots the bartender a frantic look. Unbothered or uninterested in his company, Ice cants his head at me, a light smile on his lips. How about you, Sparrow? I did say I'd buy you a drink earlier. No. My treat. They're the same voice and it pisses me off so much, but I can't figure out how to differentiate them. Ice regards Leander over the lip of his glass. In the dim light, the glint in his crimson eyes looks downright dangerous. What'll it be, Emma? Water's fine! Allow me. Leander pushes away from the counter to go flag down the bartender, leaving me with Kuras and, more distantly, Min. I'm not the least bit surprised that neither has bothered ordering anything. They both seem ready to leave at the moment's notice. Water is a wise choice. Is it your doctor's duty to encourage sobriety? But Chris shakes his head with a patient smile. The drinks here are notoriously watered down, most likely to cut costs, but it only encourages the patrons to overindulge. Min looks up from adjusting the lace on one of their bracers. The only reason anyone bothers coming here is for the cheap rooms and cheaper drinks. Perfect conditions for terrible mistakes. It almost sounds like you're speaking from experience. Their pale face reddens and they look away scowling. Leander returns with a glass of water that I accept with a murmured thanks. He claps, drawing the attention of the group. All right, everyone, let's toast. May Emma's stay in Iridia be full of bright adventures and discoveries. Cheers. Leander, Ice, and Ver raise their glasses in unison. Min only crosses their arms and Chris watches with polite indifference. The water is bitter, cold, and tastes faintly metallic, but I savor it all the same. Gradually, the din of the crowded bar fades to low murmuring. I find myself relaxing for what it feels like the first time in years. Aren't you a popular one, Emma? I'm guessing you met Kuras first. You should know this. I told you that he sent me to you. It would be more accurate to say that I found her. He saved my life. I merely performed my duty as a doctor. Although I must admit I was confused when I woke up missing all my clothes. Leander makes a choke noise. Somewhere behind me, Min sighs. It's not what you think. Emma was in grave condition. I could hardly treat such injuries through tattered clothes. The silence then follows, stretches uncomfortably long. I look away, unable to face Kuras's disappointment, and catch Ver snickering behind his hand. That's my cue to change the topic. Kuras isn't the only one that saved me today. Don't you listen? I didn't save you. You were simply there. That's Min for you. Leander reaches for Min, but they duck under his arm with practiced ease, without so much looking his way. As reliable as they are moody. Kind of gives sibling vibes. It kind of gives sibling vibes. You're one to talk considering you neglected to warn her to stay off the streets at night. Oh, I might have gotten a little distracted. Min's only response is a short breath. At any rate, I never got a chance to thank you, Min. Don't. The less soul is alive, the better. For a heartbeat, Min's eyes flick towards Ice and their lips twist. Ice is too busy nodding along to Vera's enthusiastic pantomime of stabbing to notice, lost no doubt in an enthralling discussion. I've had enough of this hellhole. Let's go. Min and Kuras share a brief look, then the doctor speaks up. Very well, but there's something I must discuss with Leander. If you'll excuse us, Emma. And just like that, the three of them depart, leaving me alone to sip my water in silence. Alone at the bar, ready to sleep, go on my bed and have a nice eep. Or so I thought until I heard a voice so soft and low it's practically a purr. Lost your tour guide? I forgot they left me with you two. I turned to find crimson and pink eyes trained on me. Your eyes are pink? I thought they were red. Well, to be fair, my screen has an orange tint that I can't figure out how to get rid of. I turned to find crimson and pink eyes trained on me. It's not lost on me that they chose the instant others left to strike. Just my luck. I had to be abandoned with the two most irritating people I've met all day. Monsters or not, there's no telling what I'll do if either of them push me again. Don't tell me Leander's already snuck off to get his lob slathered. Don't tell me that Leander's already snuck off to get his knob slobbered out back. He's got, business with Kuras and Min. 2-on-1 business, Isn't he lucky? I can't tell if it's the champagne or the company, but Vera has grown noticeably more relaxed. He sits with his chin propped on the back of his hand. His ears twitch whenever a hiccup shakes his shoulder. Why are you so far away? Come join us. He pats the empty bar stool beside Ice, but I hesitate. The smile Ver wears is sweet and distinctly sly. And with drinks in the mix, I dread how he and Ice will mess with me next. We don't bite. I'm not sure about that one. Just hours ago, he tried to rob me and you threatened me. Me? Steal? Surely you must be mistaken. You sure it was me? Yes, it was you, and yes, you had the gall to kick me out just so you could go drinking. He gives another one of his shrugs. I was lonely. A simple answer that I expected, but I guess I can't fault him for that. Bear suddenly slumps forward, gossamer sleeves pooling where he rests his elbows on his knees. Ice sets his hands on Ver's waist, narrowly preventing him from tipping off the counter. How about we start fresh, Begin with proper introductions. Get off on the right foot and whatnot. I'll start. The name's Ver, hunter extraordinaire. Nice rhyme there. Ver's right hand flutters to his chest and he bows his head, flinching when hair falls into his eyes. Ice doesn't say anything, but I suppose it's my turn now. Fine, I'll play along. It's Emma. Ver considers me for a long moment, his tail idly swaying behind him. Then he knocks back the rest of his champagne. It's a pleasure to formally meet you, Emma. He says my name deliberately and slowly, savoring every syllable. A tingle jumps down my spine. I quickly turn my gaze away. Ice smirks at my reaction over the rim of his glass. Is something funny? Nope. I open my mouth and close it just as quickly. They want me to react, goading me into another ridiculous game, like bullies! While their sharp cat-like eyes keep me on edge. Something about this tension is fun. It must be the exhaustion. I must be going a little crazy from exhaustion. A flash of light over Ice's shoulder catches my eye. Across the bar, Caress heads for the door. I don't see Leander or Min, but it feels wrong to let him leave without saying goodbye. I'll be back. Ver hums and waxes fingers at me as I leave. A little bit of a wave. I slip through the crowd, careful not to touch anyone, but just as I'm nearing Caress, I stagger, shoulder checked by a man with a neck thicker than both my thighs. Not possible. My thighs are wide. He stares me down, nostrils flaring. Out of my way, shit stain. Asshole. I mutter while massaging my throbbing elbow. The roughneck wheels about, shoving a bloodhound out of the way so he can close in on me. What'd you say? Yeah, I said it, asshole! He shoves me backward, sending me stumbling to the sticky floor. I'm fine, but my heart leaps into my throat when I see the roughneck bearing down on me. You trying to start something here? I don't know, it sounds like you're trying to start something here. You wanna go a little crazy? I got hands! The roughneck freezes, his fist cocked back. A group of bloodhounds called by this commotion circle him, sizing him up. From what feels like an agonizingly long moment, the roughneck looks from me to the bloodhounds. Finally, he sniffs and patoo spits on the floor next to me. The lob narrowly misses my cheek. Screw it. Too many freaks in the circus tonight. He turns his back on me and comes face to face with Ice, one of the freaks. A dangerous smile spreads across his face. You'll do. What happens next is a blur. Ice's fist crashes into the roughneck's jaw, causing an eruption of gasps, shouts, and even cheers around us. I scramble to my feet right as the frantic crowd swarms around me, cutting my sight off of everything and everyone. Through the ruckus, I hear Leander shouting, Hey, Ice, take it outside. Ignore them, everyone. Look, drinks are on me. With those 4 words, the wick erupts with hoots and hollers. The ring around me disappears as bloodhounds and onlookers rush towards the bar. Through the thinning crowd, I catch glimpses of familiar faces. Ice vanishes out the back, dragging the roughneck behind him. Caress lingering near the door, searching, I suspect, for any wounded before he departs. Min draws his hood up tight as they slip out the side door, while Ver leans over the counter to swipe a glass of wine from behind the bar. Says the non-thief. And Leander is seated at the opposite end of the bar, gestures dramatically and apologetically at the bartender. In the space of a heartbeat, I realize there's no telling what or if I'll see any of them ever again. Whoever I pursue may be the last person I get to speak to tonight, so I follow. I honestly was feeling that this was going to be the end of everything, because I'm pretty sure this is only the prologue, but I guess it would be like one of those prologues where it's like, oh, you begin choosing a route, maybe? Anywho's, I will say, on this selection screen, Ice was mean. I don't want to go with him. Hold. We do love the fox ears, but Ver is also kind of snarky, and he also stole from me, so I don't like that. Min is okay. They did save me, but I don't feel like going with Min in this instance because I feel like we don't have anything going on. Same for Kuras. I think Kuras is really pretty. They also did save me, but personally, I think Kuras is the prettiest one. But I don't think that my character has enough of a connection with Kuras. And I think having the whole hand thing happen and having had a moment where they felt like such excitement, Leander is my pick. So I'm going with Leander. For the second time today, I find myself squeezing through a crowd to reach Leander. As soon as he sees me, his easy smile fades. You alright, Emma? I'm not used to someone looking at me with such earnest concern. I've been through worse today. From the sounds of it, you've had quite the day. How are you holding up? Could be better. Not bad considering I've been threatened, robbed, and come close to dying too many times to count. I should have known not to let you out of my sight. How about the next time you want to see the city, I come along. I could be your personal guide. You've already helped me more than enough. Leander signals for the bartender. I'm parched. You want anything? Water. Oh, actually, there's no water. My root brain is going. If I want to get on a Leander route, and I know they only cover the prologue because this is a demo. I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is a demo. You would have a drink with him because it'll create more of a connection. But if I say I'm good, I feel like you could be more level-headed in a situation. Well, but I feel like we've ended the day and there's, fuck it, I'll have a drink. I've been through a lot today. Something strong and simple. He raises 2 fingers at the bartender. Make that 2. Once he's ordered, Leander turns back to me. Did you at least get to try any good food? I've had those fried dough sticks from the vendor near here. As soon as I begin describing my meal, his eyes brighten with recognition. The long lads from the Wensta? You've got to try them with porridge. You know what?
Just a quick interjection here. I completely misremembered the name of the food. In this whole little thing that I go on, I call it jialuo. It's actually supposed to be called, and I might be severely mispronouncing this as a very bad Vietnamese speaker, but it's actually jiao wei. So keep that in mind as you go through this. Like, it's mad embarrassing how bad I've misremembered this word.
I know, that's like jialuo, and I don't even know if I'm saying it right because it's been so long since I've had it, but it's like jialuo and jiao. I eat that all the time. Not really. I eat that when I'm sick. But I love that shit. I actually don't know if, I only know that, but I don't know if there's any other things that resemble it. But for me, that is jialuo and, jiao, which if you haven't had it before and you just like, it's pretty good. Jialuo in itself is pretty good. So you should, how do you describe it? It's like a fried, is it a breadstick? It's a fried dough stick, which is like very, not extremely greasy, but it's like somewhat greasy, though I guess it depends on where you get it from. And depending on where you get it from, it'll be like a certain level of saltiness or like savoriness. And there's like holes in it. So when I eat it, I tear it. Leave it to me to talk about jialuo during a freaking romance game. Anyways, when you tear it open, I'm still going to talk about it even though I say this. There's like a hole. There's like big holes that have formed in the dough during the process of it being made, because I don't know how it's made. My mom just buys it when she gets it, and there's a holes. So when you dip it into like your jiao, which is like a I would call it a Vietnamese porridge, but it's basically like congee, right? Which is basically in its simplest form, though, typically I don't eat it that way with jialu. It's like rice and water, right? It's like very watered down, very soft rice. So if you don't know what kanji is. And when I eat it, it's typically like a flavored one. So I eat jiaoga, which is fish kanji, basically. And there's like different flavors within it. So the jialu is like a savory, like intensely savory and a little bit, not intensely savory, it's like savory and a little greasy. And the jiao is a little more mild because it's meant to be more of a easy to handle meal a lot of the time. And so when you pair those two, they match so well. And like there's also garlic when my mom does it. Not garlic. There's also ginger when my mom makes it, and like fish in there too, because it's ga is fish in Vietnamese. And so when like you dip it in, or you like, I use a spoon because I just find that stuff easier. But when you put the kanji and you pair it with the jialuo, it somehow harmonizes really well. And if you want it a little spicy, if I'm being so real, and I don't know if this is like blasphemy, but I put sriracha in it, right? But my parents tend to put like chili oil. I think it's chili oil. I don't think it's chili oil. But it's like I don't remember what it's called. It might be like some Uncle Chen's chili thingy, right? Uncle Chen is, I think, the name of the brand. And that makes it a little spicier. So if you want a little kick to it. Anyways, I'm just saying that's what it reminds me of, you know? I miss eating that stuff. Anywho's, that is what the fried bread dough and porridge thing reminded me of. And it made my brain go, whoo! There's another, back to the story. There's another stall about a block away with those rose water rice flour cakes. Take one bite and you'll think you've been transported to some high-town patisserie. Wrong word. Patisserie. Then bam! You open your eyes and it's the same trash-lined street as always. When he laughs, his hair falls over his eyes. He shakes his head and pushes it back. I'll show you sometime, if you decide to stick around Lowtown, that is. The Iridia Leander describes is far different from the one I've experienced, but if you live anywhere long enough, I suppose it becomes home. It seems that I'll be here for a while. Maybe I'll take you up on that. The bartender returns with a pair of glasses and pushes them our way. Cheers. Clinkies. Leander clicks his glass with mine. I take a deep sip of the malty dark ale, savoring its flavor. It was surprising finding out that you all know each other. I didn't think Iridia would be so small. Do you know how many times I've tried getting them all in one place? It's impossible, like trying to herd a bunch of soulless. I take it you know them well? Depends. Was there anyone you're curious about in particular? Bitch, you, JK. That's not a choice. I would say if I was curious about a person, I'm not so curious about Ice. I'm not so curious about... Weirdly enough, I would say it's Ver. Because I feel like... We know Ice is part of the soul whatever. We know that Curse is a doctor, and I feel like they're more easy to find. Min... Actually, I just say Ver, because this is a snarky bitch, and I would like to know some gossip on this dude. What do you think about Ver? Leander shakes his head slowly, his expression grave. Ver, a living example of the Cenobium's cruelty. Most days they keep him on a short leash. I'm surprised you ran into him. So tell me, what'd you make of him? He's a thief. He's rude. He's rude. Is he always so rude? Leander snorts, but a smile tugs at his lip. It's everyone but Ice. If Ver's ever nice to you, you should take that as a hint to run. Why Ice? Is it because they're both, well, monsters, I guess you could say? Or is it the red eye thing? Why would the Cenobium let someone so dangerous hang around in bars? As long as he gets his job done, they don't care. And I mean, I don't mind having him around. He can be fun and he's got a real presence. What exactly does that mean? Leander shrugs and laughs under his breath. He's nice to look at. Can't deny that one. Mouthy, but his tongue's the least dangerous part about him. Alright, I can talk about everyone. Okay, cool. Let's go down the line then. Min's interesting. Not very forthcoming though. Ah, Min, my favorite grouchy freelancer. What's your impression of them? They're pretty irritable. They're a testy one. You've got that right. Sometimes even paying Min for work can be a struggle. Min works for you? Contract only. Min refuses to join the Bloodhounds, but they take jobs from me every so often to qualify. Just don't ever call them a Bloodhound, okay? I'll get an earful. Alright, Kuris? Do you and Kuris work together? Occasionally. Did the mysterious, competent doctor catch your eye? He comes across as cold, but he seems like a good person. And you might think I'm biased, and you might be right. I still do think he's the prettiest one there. Pretty privilege is what he had. He seems like a good person, though it's hard to believe anyone's a good person these days. That's Kuris. He works hard to serve the people of Lowtown. He's a miracle worker, even if his bedside matter could use some work. Do you think he'll be able to cure my curse? Leander starts to speak, but pauses to consider for a moment first. Kuris is good, but he's only a doctor. Besides, unless you're actively dying, he'll make you wait in line all day, like everyone else. What about Ice? So you're friends with Ice? Have been for a while, but he's barely in town. Where'd you run into him? The Sea Spring. Leander chokes on his drink. He coughs violently into his fist before giving me a surprised look. You went all the way out there? How'd he treat you? He was intimidating. Yeah, he was intimidating, but I feel like he gave me the dog, so I got to pet the dog, okay? There's pretty privilege and there's puppy privilege. He was honest. He told me about how the Sea Spring's power came with a heavy price. Losing your mind, becoming one of his funny brainless pets. So he does control the people of the spring. I didn't get this properly established when we met him, but that does make sense. Because the whole thing, it looks like he owns the place. So, He sighs, pausing before he speaks again. Does that sound worth it to you, Emma? The only pets he has are soulless. Yeah, I know. I didn't mean it like that. Ice has my respect and takes care of his own. I know! Because I saw him treat that dog with so much respect and affection, and I was jealous of him because I want a soulless dog too. For a moment, Leander stares deep into the bottom of his glass. When he looks up again, the circles under his eyes seem even deeper than usual. All those red-eye minions creep me out. Can we talk about someone else? Oh, you got beef. Also, I should have not chosen him last, because this is the next dialogue. Anyways, you've got beef. That about covers it. Aren't you tired of standing? Let me find you somewhere to sit. Leander pushes away from the bar, beckoning me to follow him. He leads me to a small booth hidden in a nook of a bar. A pair of bloodhounds notice him and immediately leap to their feet, offering their seats to us. As I slide into the booth, a web of graffiti scratched into the booth's tabletops catches my eye. The deepest grooves form the outline of the dog from Leander's posters. Dozens of roughly etched names surround the drawing, some fresh, some well-worn. What is this? It's a tradition. Whenever someone joins the Bloodhounds, they have a drink with us and then they carve in their initials. The barkeeper must love them all. After the first year, she finally stopped charging me extra for damages. 2 years and countless drinks later, she added her own name. You're not planning on recruiting me, are you? He quickly shakes his head. Not yet. You need time to think about your own path. Do you know what you're going to try next? The question gives me pause. I take my hand out from under my cloak and rest them on the table. Do you think you can help me? Of course, we can find answers together. Leander starts to reach for me, as though meaning to take my hands before stopping himself. His eyes flicker to mine. I won't fail you, Emma. And if you ever need a taste of normalcy, I'll always be here for you. My chest tightens at the memory of touching him, my premarital hand-holding. Even now? Leander swallows. The table groans under his elbows as he leans forward. Is something going on? Did I miss a social cue that I didn't realize? What are we even on? What are we even on? Oh, even now, as in even this current moment. Okay, that makes sense. I'm just dumb. The booth is so narrow that he completely blocks my view of the bar counter. It's almost as though Leander and I are completely alone. If that's what you want. How did it make you feel? It was warm? Exciting? I don't know how to describe it. Leander rests his right hand on the table. He looks at me, smiling when I place my hand in his. Slowly, he begins unwinding the bandages, stopping every so often to glance at me. We love a man who checks for consent! Anyways, I'm a little scared because we're in a crowded place. So, I don't know, but maybe it's because he's blocking me into the booth? It's fine, maybe. As my skin becomes visible, I cast a nervous glance around the bar, but as far as I can see, no one is paying us any attention. Leander squeezes my hand gently. No one will notice. He pulls back, raising his hand to his mouth so he can tug his glove off with his teeth. The muscles in his forearm tighten as he flexes his fingers. Our eyes meet and Leander offers his hand again. There you go. Hand holding on demand. We do love that hand holding on demand. A lump forms in my throat. I'm certain Leander sees it in my face, a flicker of desperation. His voice lowers to a whisper. Anything you want, Emma. What do the red options do? I don't remember. I'm a little scared, but I don't remember. I'm gonna... Why is it red? Does that mean I've done enough to be able to do it? Like, does it mean I've picked enough options that it's an available option? Because there's some games where you do see the option, but it's like locked out. Is that what happens? If I don't click it now, will I regret it? Probably. I'm touching his face. I blurt out the first request that comes to my mind. I do want that special option, and I do love special options. Can I touch your face? Oh, sure. Also, can I be so real? This is the only man I've seen blush, and I do like blushing faces. Let's be so real. I did make a fuss about it earlier, and I still am gonna make a fuss about it, but the blushing faces look good. What can I say? I lean over the table, hesitating before I touch his face. When my fingers graze his jaw, Leander laughs softly. That tickles. It's fine, you can just... He takes my wrist, angling my hand so he can press his cheek into my palm. Warmth spreads under my fingertips. A surprised breath escapes me. Gently, I rub my thumb down the ridge of the scar on his cheek, and he shudders, his earring jingling against my knuckles. You're getting awfully bold. I've never touched someone like this before. And even though it makes my head spin, it's already not enough. I want to be even closer. My heart hammers, filling my ears with a pulse that grows unbearably loud until I pull my hand back. Are you all right? I can barely hear his words over my pounding heart, but I manage to nod. Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry, I think I'm just getting a little dizzy. He gives me a gentle smile, eyes crinkling at the edges. You've had a long day. You deserve some rest. Luckily, your room is just upstairs. Want me to walk you back? I shake my head and begin wrapping my hand back up. With each deep breath, my head feels more clear. I'm fine, but thanks for, well, everything. Remember what I told you. If you ever need a break from the chaos of the city, I'll be here for you. When I rise, Leander gives me one last smile. Good night, Emma. Night. I trudge up the stairs, but even as I leave Leander behind, the warmth of his skin still lingers on mine, burning through the bandages. Choose my fate? Well, I know what I'm going for, but hold up. How far does this go? I thought I just did the prologue. I didn't read the description really good, if I'm being so real, right? So I don't know for sure. But like, how far down, how far down the line does this go? Because, hold up, let me click this and maybe they'll go, oops, we don't have a route for this. Leander offers you something that should be impossible, a taste of normalcy free of your curse. As the first person to withstand your touch, he could change your life, but some things are simply too good to be true. Leander promises to help unravel your curse, but at what cost? Now, I'm going to pretend I didn't read this because as in character, I feel like we synergize with Leander the most. So I'm going with Leander. I don't care. Yeah, okay, I thought so. There we go. So this is the end of the prologue. I think. Yeah, this is the end of the prologue. So that was Touchstarved. And you know, I've said this many times before, and it's always a bias on my part, which I can't fully blame on the developers. What the fuck is going on in the background? I can't fully blame on the developers because when I read things, I do tend to stumble a lot. I do tend to get caught up in my words. My brain works slower than my own mouth, right? So I won't comment too much on the reading part besides the fact that, you know, it just felt like there was missing a few breaks, I guess you could say, like to make it like distinctly obvious where how the sentence is actually supposed to be said. Because I read, you know, I don't read the sentence in my head and then say it. I read the sentence as I go, which I probably shouldn't do. But like, you know, just a few commas every once in a while. But I do find intrigue in this game, given that our character does have a curse, and it does give a bit of a radiation thing. I want to see the dynamics. And with Touchstarved, it's one of those games where the characters that you will pursue likely all have pasts, right? Or even futures, I guess you could say, or presents. And it's like a dark past because, you know, gothic horror romance. And it's like a dark past or like a troubled past or a troubled future, underlying intent. I've received a lot of things for free in this prologue. What will they do, or what will they ask for me in return? Just as like you've seen the indication of like what will happen in Leander's like story, right? Like at what cost does this joy that I feel, this what I receive, what is the cost of that? Because as you learn at the beginning, even though this is technically the beginning, you learn at the beginning that you shouldn't trust what is free because it's suspicious. It's something that you should be a little bit wary of. And even furthermore, fuck, I literally forgot his name and I keep forgetting his name. Kuras, I think his name was. Kuras says that secrets are like a commodity, right? You gain one and you lose one. Like you should keep them close to your chest and you should be careful about like prying other ones. So it makes you wonder what is everyone's secret, because in general, technically sometimes the most how do you say this? Normal ones are the most suspicious, which is interesting considering that Leander said something about normalcy. But it's the normal ones that are the most suspicious, typically. So it makes you wonder what lies beneath maybe their facade. Like maybe Leander's been scheming us this whole time. Maybe they want something from us that they realized with the whole hand thing, and they're only really treating us well in this way because they realize there's something to gain, or maybe there's not. You never know until you actually get to the root. So this is Touchstarved. I quite enjoyed it. I think that the character art was really pretty. The background art, unsure if it was a conceptual thing or because they decided to put more focus on other things. I felt like it was a bit lacking, but I do understand that sometimes the background art isn't as important as what's going on in the story in the foreground. And I do understand that, like, sometimes the story and such will carry it. There are parts of the background that I do think look good stylistically, which is like when you first enter and you see the city. That's pretty good. but it feels like something's lacking every once in a while, and it might be because it feels flatter than the rest of the people around it, which might mean that in this way, and this is a demo, remembering that, in this way, it might be to put more focus on other things and not like overstimulate you or like make your brain work too much, you know what I mean? But yeah, the story is interesting. The characters seem interesting. They're cute. They're cute. I really like it when Leander blushes, and I think that Caress is really pretty. Same for everyone else. I just think the Caress is the prettiest one. That's all I'm saying. You know, I always feel like those types of characters. Look, I always feel like those types of characters, when they, if you've ever played Code Realize, you'll understand what I mean when I say he gives, and I might be saying this name wrong because it's Japanese and I don't know if the English pronunciation is correct. But when Saint Germain, I think they call him Saint German or something, and when I hear the Japanese dialogue. But Saint Germain has his moments. It feels like that might happen for Caress, and so I am a little excited for that when the full game comes out. Is all I'm saying. I like it when the cold one gets a little desperate. That's all. Anyways, this was my playthrough of Touchstarved. If you want to check it out, you can find it probably on itch.io or Steam. I'll put the link in the description as always. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.